Morning, good morning. Happy Sunday. Oh, that's a good way to start a Sunday morning stream. Thank you very much for the bits, Julian. That's much appreciated. Hopefully that means that the music's good, the mic's good, and we're on track. Switching it up with some different music today. Hopefully it all works okay. Throwing stuff about already, that's a good start. Good morning, James Rest. How are you today? Are you having a good Sunday so far? So today I thought I would make something that's quite appropriate if you've got a bit of a hangover. So if anyone's watching and has a bit of a hangover, I feel like this could help you out. So it's based loosely on like a doner kebab. And I say loosely because it's not really like a doner kebab at all, but I'm gonna make like a veggie doner kebab with mushrooms and do them in like a kind of flatbread with some different sauces and salads. So once it's all together, you'll get the kind of feel of a doner kebab. Although I think, I was gonna Google it before I came on actually, I think, does doner mean like the spinning machine thing? So obviously we're not going to do that because I don't have one of them, funnily enough. So we're just going to slice up some mushrooms and get a bit of flavour in them, fry them off, make some flatbreads, and then make the other bits to go with it. I've made like a kind of fake doner before. Again, not with the spinny contraption. Sounds good. I hope so. So the one I made before, I actually used lamb mince and kind of baked it together in like a loaf tin and then almost kind of shaved bits off it, so you got that kind of similar kind of consistency, and it was a lot healthier obviously because like when you see the big spinny wheels of meat, there's so much oil and fat on them, which obviously makes it taste good, but it's not the healthiest. But this one I'm going to use I get some of these fancy portobello mushrooms. Walking around London with Twitcher. Well, I'm glad I can accompany you on your trip around London. I'd rather be in London. That would be quite nice, but I hope you're having a good day. Hungry now. I'm sure you'll be able to find something nice in London to eat. Yeah, so I'm going to use these portobello mushrooms. So I've got 3 big ones. And the plan is I'm just going to really finely slice each up. And then I'll kind of marinate them a little bit in some spices and some nice tasty things. Leave them to kind of marinate for a bit while we do our other bits. And then one thing that I tried on the stream on, was it Friday? Was to make like the chicken strips. If you saw it, oh my god, the bucket was so good. If I do say so myself, I was really, really pleased with it. And yeah, one of the things that worked really well was using the mushrooms and frying them in a pan, but then squashing them down with another pan on top, which it kind of got all of the like liquid out and made them almost more like a kind of meat texture. That worked really well, so I'm going to try that again today with this, and then obviously just not batter them or breadcrumb them. He did say to wash, so I'm going to give them a quick wash and then we'll get them chopped up. Oh, quite jealous of a wee day out in London. That does sound nice. Can't remember the last time I was anywhere excited. It's been quite a long time. Yeah, a wee bit of tourism would be quite nice now, I think. Now, this is one thing I always get stuck on. If you get mushrooms, then I would normally kind of wipe them down rather than wash them, but sometimes it actually says to wash on it. I always think they go weird and slimy if you do that, so I do just prefer just giving them a wipe. I missed the bucket. Can I find it somewhere to rewatch? Yes. So it is on my channel. You'll be able to see it on there. And then after the 2 week, I think it's like 2 weeks that Twitch keep the videos. I've got them on my highlights, so you'll be able to see all the best bits on there. You won't miss it, don't worry. Plus, if you go on my Discord, you'll be able to see the pictures there. And I'm going to put together the recipe for it because it was a bit random. I kind of threw a lot of random bits together, but it did come together really well. So I'm going to write it down so that people can copy it if they want to. Hello, Tron. How are you this morning? Happy Sunday. I hope you're having a good morning so far. Love a healthy kebab. Me too. Sometimes you just want, I mean, I do quite often crave a kebab, but then I'll have one and I'll feel horrible after. So this is quite a good one because you still feel like you're getting the kind of kebab feel without feeling horrible and thinking, oh my God, how many calories have I just eaten? I'm not one for calorie counting, but it's hard not to think about that when you know that what you've eaten is full of fat and tastes amazing, but it's not the best. Right, I'm gonna grab a bowl for my mushrooms and then I'm gonna slice them up as thinly as I can. And then I'm going to do a bit of a marinade. I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to put in it. I'm just going to kind of see what I've got. Or I can put my other wee camera on and show you now. Oh, hold on. Put down a wee bit. There we go. I'm getting there with my camera set up. Slowly but surely figuring out what I'm doing. So that's good. Yeah, so I'm just going to slice these up quite thinly. So they're looking sort of about that. So they are quite thin. But hopefully that'll maybe get, hoping it'll maybe get almost like a kind of wee crisp on it. So we'll see. Happy Sunday to a bit early. Yes, it is quite early for a Sunday. But hopefully you can just all lie in bed and watch this, and then by lunchtime you'll maybe have some inspiration on what you want to have for your lunch. I am good, thank you. Quite glad that it's Sunday. I feel like Sunday's always a nice relaxed day. Don't have too much to do, so just gonna do a bit of cooking, enjoy the rest of the day, maybe a bit of cleaning later if I feel like it, but maybe not. These are huge big mushrooms, I love it. And again, this was, I had to go to the fancy shop to get these, but I think it was worth it because they look pretty good. And then to go with it all, so I'm going to make the flatbreads, and then I'm going to also make some salady bits. So I think the main thing you would tend to get in a kebab would be sort of cabbage salad. So I'm going to do a nice mixed cabbage salad. I've got a green cabbage and a red cabbage. So I'm going to do a bit of both of those in a nice dressing. And then I'm going to maybe chop up some tomatoes and some cucumbers and some onions, and they'll all go in as well. And then I'm going to do a couple of sauces. Well, I think I'll do a couple of sauces. I'm definitely going to do a kind of creamy garlic one. That's the best one in a kebab. You can't have a kebab without the creamy garlic sauce. And then maybe a slightly spicier one. But I'm not sure whether to do like a creamy spicy sauce or to do just like a traditional kind of chili spicy sauce. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to decide before I get to that stage. But we shall see. I think this is going to make quite a lot. Obviously with mushrooms, when you start cooking them, they do kind of shrink down quite a lot. Once the water, well, the liquid comes out, they kind of shrink together. But I'm hoping but because I'm doing quite a lot, you'll still get quite a bit from it. I need to watch though, some of the ones I've chopped up too thinly, they're starting to fall apart a wee bit. Maybe not quite as thinly as I was doing. Because we don't want them all falling apart in the pan. It's a bit quieter today. I did wonder, right, let me try, hold on. Because the music does seem quite loud. Right, how is that? Is that better? Maybe put that one up a wee bit. Hopefully that's a bit better now. I don't want to deafen anyone, especially not on a Sunday morning. Creamy spicy sounds amazing. Well, that's one vote for creamy spicy, so that's good to know. And I think that's what I would like as well. I'm not a big fan of spice, but if it's like a kind of creamy spice, I feel like it's not quite as intense. And it's just a lot tastier. I like it, well, any creamy food, and I'm a fan. Is that better? Good. Thank you for that, Tron. It's so difficult because I can't hear what you hear. And the music does seem quite loud here, but I'm never sure if that's actually what you guys are hearing. Okay, so I've chopped up all my mushrooms. We've got quite a lot there now. So I'm just gonna get a few different bits and pieces, a few different spices and things to kind of almost marinate these in. So I'm gonna go for paprika, if I can get it out. There we go. I've got some mixed herbs. What else do we want? Maybe check my... I did make a recipe like this before. I'm gonna check and see what I put in that. I'll put in a little bit of smoked paprika. I love a bit of kind of smoky. Oh, can't see me when I go over there. Right. Kebab. What did I put in it before? I'm gonna put in some garlic. I forgot to go and get more garlic granules, but I'm just gonna crush up a couple of cloves and add that in. Right. Oh, for goodness sake. It was over 3 years ago that I did the doner kebab with the lamb meat. Turmeric. And a bit of ground coriander. Salt and pepper. Cumin. Have I got ground cumin? I don't think I do. Nah. And then do I want a wee bit of... a tiny bit of chilli powder in as well. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it a little bit and see what looks about right. Good morning. Is that Carol Al? How would you say it? Is that Carol Al? I think so. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Thanks for coming along to watch. I hope you're well. Right, so I'm going to add maybe about a teaspoon of each of these. So I've got some ground turmeric, some ground cinnamon, not cinnamon, coriander. Cinnamon would be horrible. Don't put cinnamon in. Yeah, that would not end well. Right, we've done, I don't want to put in the same thing twice. So we've done coriander, we've done turmeric. A teaspoon of paprika. Not too much, although obviously it's your own personal taste of the chili powder. I'm not going to put too much in because I don't want it to blow my head off because I'm not great with spice. And then about a teaspoon of the smoked paprika. There's just something about the smell of smoked paprika. And then about a teaspoon of mixed herbs. smush them up a wee bit. Now I'm not quite sure I don't know whether I want to do these in oil, because so when I did this with the mushrooms on Friday, I got a bit carried away with myself and I put oil in with the mushrooms and mixed the oil around, and I also put oil in the pan. So I ended up having to get quite a lot of the oil off it again. So I'm not sure whether to do them completely dry, because they've got quite a lot of liquid in them anyway, and I'm going to press the liquid out. I might try a few like that and see how it goes, and then if that works I can do the rest of it like that. Yeah, we'll try it like that. I quite enjoy using you guys as guinea pigs. And so far nothing's gone horribly wrong, so that's always a good sign. I'm going to get my garlic crusher and just crush a Brazilian. Nice. Well, I'm very glad you're here watching. You're trying to practice, right? Good stuff. Well, you're very welcome to practice here. Thank you very much. Hopefully this tastes as nice as it looks. That's what I'm aiming for. If any word is wrong, sorry, don't be silly. I understood that perfectly, so you're doing well. I hope you can understand my accent, okay? It's not the easiest, like, English speaking accent to understand, but if you can understand me, then you're doing well. So I've got 2 quite big chunks of garlic. I think garlic's such a good flavour, so I'm going to put both of these in. Normally I would use garlic powder, but as I said before, I forgot to go and get more because I ran out the other day. And I've only got the smoked garlic, which I think would be nice, but I would rather have the smoked paprika flavour in this. So I'm going to use more of that and then just use garlic cloves if I can get the skins off. Sometimes these come off no bother, and sometimes you can spend ages looking at them. It's my concentration face. Right. So first one in there. Yeah, I think we do need 2 of these though. Oh, it's the smell of it. That's why I love, one of my favourite foods I would say is a good risotto. Mainly because it's got all of my favourite things in it. It's got your carbs with the rice, it's got wine, parmesan, garlic. So good. What's not to like? Oh, again, this one has been a pest. And you can let me know what you think about this new music. If it's not very good, I can change it for next time. But it's just a random playlist, so hopefully it's okay. I think it's the happy playlist or something, and I thought, well, that sounds good for a Sunday. What are kebabs? Right, well, you get different kinds of kebabs. So quite often, people would think of kebabs as being like on a skewer, so like a long thin stick with some meat or some vegetables, and then you put it on the barbecue. But these ones I'm gonna do, I think it's more of a Turkish kebab. So normally it's made with meat, and these ones, so basically, if you get it in the shop, there's like a huge big metal pole and there's meat kind of stuck to it, and the meat turns round and gets cooked slowly, and then they shave bits of the meat off, put into flatbreads with salads and sauces. So obviously, because this is a vegan recipe, instead of using meat, I'm using mushrooms. So we've got our chopped up mushrooms in there, which I'm gonna marinate them to make them taste nice. And then we're going to fry them off and add those to the flatbreads and salads and sauces and things. So it's slightly different, but it'll hopefully be a nice sort of vegan alternative. Sounds really good. I hope so. We shall soon see. Right, so that's quite a lot of garlic now, but it smells good. And then I'm just going to give this a good mix around. Try not break up any of the mushrooms. I'm trying to decide whether they need a wee bit of oil. I don't know. Oh, it smells amazing though. You can see they're starting to kind of get a wee bit more coated there. You just want it so that none of them have got too much of one thing on them. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it like that. I don't think they need the oil. And we'll start with that and see how we go. I'm just gonna pop that to the side and let that kind of sit for a little bit, and hopefully the flavors will kind of intensify in the bowl. And then I can make a start on my flatbread dough. The flatbread recipe that I'm going to use it's actually one that I've made for naan bread. So if you're having like a curry, you would quite often have a naan bread with them. So it's a gluten-free naan bread recipe. But what I'm going to do today is just make them slightly thinner. And I'm hoping that if I do that, they'll be a bit more kind of pliable, so I'll be able to kind of wrap them around the kebab meat. I'm not 100% convinced it's going to work, but I'm going to give it a bash. And at least I know that if it does just turn out as a naan bread, it does taste good. So it'll maybe be more of like a kebab bowl rather. Okay, so I'll get my recipe out. What was it again? Naan bread. So for the naan, we want plain flour. Plain flour. Yeah. So I've got gluten-free plain flour, and then I'm gonna add some baking powder. Oh, there it is. And some xanthan gum, because I want to try and get a bit of sort of stretch in them. And then some olive oil and some plain yogurt. So I've got just the Alpro one. What is that music? That's bizarre. Oh well. Yeah, so I'm going to use the Alpro no sugar yogurt, which is a soya yogurt. This one here that I'm going to use, and it's just made from soybeans, and I think it tastes really nice actually. I think it tastes quite similar to just a regular yogurt, so it works for me. Get another bowl out. I'm really going to need to get more bowls. Oh, and my scales. Right, so this is such an easy recipe, and the thing about it is, if you're not gluten-free, you could just substitute the gluten-free plain flour for regular plain flour, and it'll probably work better, to be honest, because normal plain flour works much better in baking. Right, so we want 200 grams of plain flour. But it is a bit of a rave this morning, isn't it? $200 of this, and then we want 200 milliliters of the plain yogurt. And I think I'm going to check the recipe, but I think I just fire it all in the bowl and mix it. I'm going to just double check. Yeah, that's nice and easy. So 200 grams of the plain flour, and then I think it's about a teaspoon each. Teaspoon of baking powder, and half a teaspoon of xanthan gum. And again, if you are baking gluten-free, this is a lifesaver. Because obviously if you're baking gluten-free, you're missing the gluten, which like is that kind of stringy part that holds everything together. So this is like a gum that definitely does sort of, what's the word, imitate that slightly. The only thing is you need to watch how much you put in, because if you put too much in, it can go horribly kind of chewy. So I would say, I mean, I think pretty much when I bake, I think every time I put in half a teaspoon, and that seems to work. So if you are using gluten-free flour, just add half a teaspoon of xanthan gum and that'll help you along. We've got those two, and then we want olive oil, 200 ml of sugar. A little jug out. $200 ml. Oops. Do this lid, just getting in the way. Okay, and then, so yes, it's equal parts flour and yogurt. I'm gonna need to get right up close to this because my lines have almost all gone. Although, how much is in that? Oh no, that's... But if it's only about 200 ml in it, I could just use the whole thing. But it's not. It's 500, so we want about half of this. This is quite difficult to do from time to time. My perspective's a bit off. Another one, I think. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, you can tell that's when you're starting to get old, is when it hurts to get up and down. I'm gonna add this to it. And then I'll bring it back over and I'll add 2 tablespoons of oil. And so, depending on what you're making this for, if you're making it to have with a curry, you could add sort of some garlic or some coriander, or you could make a sweet naan. I have a problem with a sweet naan. It's quite a big thing here, and it is, you can pretty much get it in any Indian takeaway that you go here, and it's full of like coconut and almonds, maybe pistachios, and a lot of people have that with their curry, and I just think that's awful. I don't understand why you'd want a sweet naan with a spicy curry, but each to their own. Yes, if you wanted, I've completely lost my train of thought, so I don't know why I'm telling you that. Yes, if you wanted, you can pretty much make the base recipe of this and then add in different herbs, different spices. You could add in cheese if you wanted. it's kind of up to you. So once you've got the base, just kind of do what you like with it. So I'm gonna do, because it's for the kebab, I'm just gonna do, I think, just some herbs, because hopefully the mushrooms will be tasty enough that I won't need anything other than that. You should create an Amazon wish list so I can get you a new measuring cup. That's true. Although, to be fair, I feel like for a new measuring cup I should just go to IKEA. But I might do that if people would actually be interested. But it's one of these things, I think I always forget that I need. It's still early. It's very early, especially on a Sunday. Yeah, I feel like these things with like the measuring cup, I never actually remember that it's like that until I use it, and then it's too late, so I just have to kind of get on with it. Okay, I've got the olive oil, and then I'm just going to put in some herbs and mix it around. Yeah, it's definitely feeling like an early Sunday morning just now. But it's all good. Just keeping it chilled this morning. Hopefully if anyone's struggling with a hangover, this'll help ease them into the day and then get them hungry for lunch. I think that'll do. So that's probably about a tablespoon of herbs. I'm just going to give it a good mix around. Yeah, I think if I do an Amazon wish list, I would need to add on wooden spoons as well. Wooden spoons and bowls. Hopefully, wait a minute, I'll move these things about a wee bit, and then you can maybe see in my bowl a bit better. Is that better? So you can do this with your hands. I'm going to start just with a spoon, just because I feel like that gets the worst of it together, and just kind of mix it all together until it comes to a kind of dough. I think that is all. This is the thing. This recipe I came up with. Oh no, I'm talking rubbish. This recipe is quite a new one. It's still long enough that I don't remember what's actually in it. Yeah, just mix well. Okay. It still feels quite sticky. I'm gonna just give it a mix with my hands, because I think sometimes, although it is really messy, sometimes you can almost tell how close you are to getting it ready with your hands better than a spoon, because you can properly sort of feel the texture of things. But yeah, this is still quite wet. I mean, it is going to be a fairly wet dough because of all of the yogurt that's in it, but that's a wee bit excessive. It's all still, I mean, look at that. Lovely. Bit of a mess, but yeah, I'm going to add a little bit more flour. That's the problem though with this. As soon as you start mixing it with your hands, you then have to go away and clean your hands before you can add anything more in. So I'm just going to add, that's probably about maybe another tablespoon. And then we'll just, feels horrible as well. It's so cold from the yogurt from the fridge. But yeah, that feels a bit better. I'm just going to kind of knead that in a wee bit, and it feels, to be fair, the dough does feel quite nice and fluffy. I never know. I feel like if we had a baker here, I feel like they'd be able to tell us. But I wonder if there's any point in kneading gluten-free dough, because I always think, well, if you're kneading regular dough, you're kneading it to get the gluten going. But if you're doing gluten-free flour, obviously there isn't any gluten to get going. So does kneading it actually achieve anything, or are you just kind of, is it just the Does it kind of make you feel like you're making regular stuff? I'm not sure. I'll need to find out. I'm sure somebody will know the answer to that. Right, so it's still the sticky version of Chef, exactly. And that's not a pretty picture. So that's what it looks like now. It's all stained together well. So I'm just gonna stick this. I mean, I don't think it's gonna rise. Now, to make it look nice, I'm gonna go and give the bowl a rinse out and then pop the dough in there just while we get some other bits and pieces done. Get all the dough off my hands. It's when you get it under your nails, that's the worst. Wow. But all I can smell over here, because the bowl of mushrooms is here, it's so strong smelling. Smells good though. Strong smelling in a good way. I think it's mainly the garlic. And that's the thing, I find like freshly pressed garlic smells so much stronger than just your garlic granules. Okay. So I'm just going to treat this as though it's a regular dough. Whether or not it's going to achieve anything, I'm not sure. But I'm going to put a little bit of oil in the bottom and let it kind of sit in here. Probably just to mix the gum and the dough. Yeah, possibly, yeah. Good question, I'm intrigued now, lol. I know, me too, actually. I feel like I should go away and Google it just to find out. But yeah, because that is why you need something, so surely you can, if you mix it, then that's enough. You shouldn't really need to actually knead it. I'll find out. Leave it with me. Someone I know will know. Okay, so I'm just giving this a wee bit of an oil. I mean, again, I don't think this is actually going to be achieving anything, because normally you would do this while you're letting the dough rise, or prove and rise, but I don't think that's going to happen with this one, but it looks good. So that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to pop this over to the side as well with our mushrooms. If you've missed the mushrooms earlier, this is what they look like now. How good do they look? So excited. So they've just been marinated with some paprika, smoked paprika, crushed garlic, turmeric, coriander, mixed herbs. I think that was it. Okay, so now we've got those two bits on the go. I can start, I think the next thing I'll do is start prepping the salads. So I'm going to do not quite a coleslaw, it's going to be more of just like a dressed cabbage. So I'll do that, that'll be nice and quick, but it's quite good if you do that, you can kind of leave it to rest as well, and then the cabbages get a bit of time to kind of soak up the vinegar and stuff. Then it just tastes a bit nicer. Amazing, yum, I hope so. I'm really looking forward. This is the thing, because I've not tried this before, it's a bit of a gamble, but I feel like it's all nice flavours, so I don't think it can go too wrong. But I quite enjoy like finding out alongside you guys. I feel like it's a bit of a surprise for everyone. One of these days I will do a recipe that I know works, and I won't have to consult my wee notepad and my phone. Just gonna get a quick. I'm gonna be really good today. You should have seen me on Friday after I made the chicken, the fake chicken bucket. It must have taken me probably about an hour and a half to clean the kitchen. And that was me thinking I was on top of things. No. So I'm going to try and kind of clean up after myself today, so that I don't give myself hours of work when I'm finished. Right, I've got a wee bit of flour. sprinkled about the place. So get rid of that, and then I'll go and grab my cabbage. And as I said before, I'm going to do two different kinds of cabbage in the one kind of salad. So I'm going to use some green cabbage, or is it white cabbage? I'm not sure, white or green cabbage. And then some red cabbage or purple cabbage. I've opened a whole can of worms there. Is it white or... maybe it'll say on them. Oh, get something to drink. Can't forget to hydrate. Right. I'll go and grab my cabbage and then try and find another bowl. Our white/green cabbage. And in the depths of the fridge, we should have a purple/red cabbage. There we go. And apparently it's a red cabbage. Oh, that's what it says on the label. So, 2 cabbages. And I'm just going to slice them up as thinly as I can. And then, as I did when I made coleslaw, that was also on Friday, I will just mix them with a little bit of salt, sugar and vinegar and kind of batter them, and then I'll do a bit more of a kind of dressing when we're closer to the end. So I now need to find a bowl. Really need to get some more big bowls. I can just use this one, can I? Let's just use this one. So I'm going to start with my white cabbage. Give it a quick wash. So is everybody here getting some people here getting a nice long weekend? Or is that just a UK one? I'm not actually too sure. It might be. I think this is our last bank holiday until, or if we get one in September. There might be one in September, but apart from that, I think that's us for the year. I just cannot believe it's almost September already. Move this over and you can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm just slicing it as finely as I can and slipping on the knife because it's still a bit wet. There's definitely some interesting music on this playlist. Maybe a wee bit full on for a Sunday morning, especially if you've had a few drinks last night. So you could also do this if you had like a mandolin, is that what they're called? Like the things that you, like the kind of blade that you grate the stuff over. I'm sure it's called a mandolin. And if you did it that way, you'd probably get it a lot thinner than I am, but just take my time, trying to get it as thin as I can. And if you missed it on Friday, I find as well with cabbage, if you do it this way and kind of bash the salt, sugar and vinegar into it, it does make it slightly easier to digest. So because I have IBS, sometimes it can be difficult for me to digest certain foods and I can end up with a bit of a sore tummy. But because like sauerkraut is quite good for people with IBS, well, in general with people with IBS, because the fermentation process kind of breaks up these carbohydrate chains. I'm not going to get too technical on a Sunday morning, but it just makes it slightly easier for people with IBS or sort of intolerances or tummy difficulties to digest. So this is like a really quick way of doing it without having to be like, right, I want to eat sauerkraut in 4 weeks time, I better make it now. Because I did try making sauerkraut once, and I mean it looked pretty good. The process went quite well, I thought. And then obviously, so you make it, you put it into a jar, leave it somewhere cool and dry for, was it about 2 weeks, I think? And then you can, well, I think as long as your liquid's gone down or something, there was some like rule that you have to follow. As long as your liquid's gone down, I think it was, by a certain amount, then it's ready to eat. So I thought, oh, that looks ideal, that's exactly what I wanted to happen. Tried it once and thought, nope, that is disgusting. So all of that work, I mean literally about 3 weeks of work for nothing. It was such a waste. So now I buy jars of sauerkraut, and if I fancy a quick kind of cabbage salad, I do it this way. And I find it's just as nice, if not slightly tastier, because it's still got a bit of crunch to it. So yeah, if you like sauerkraut or if you like cabbage, I would definitely recommend trying this way. Right, how much do we want? I think that'll do for the moment for the white one. And then I'll do a bit of red and see how we're looking. Where does this even start? Eh? Is that a puzzle? There we go. Take the top 2 leaves off because they look to be a bit sad. Give it a wee quick wash. I've just spotted my cat out bird watching in the garden. I'm hoping she's just watching and she's not going to chase after one. No, I think we're okay. Okay. Again, I'm just going to kind of chop a chunk of this off and finely slice it. It's just such a, I just love that. Although is it going to dye my hands a wee bit? And then alongside this, I'm just going to do some, I might actually do some thinly sliced red onion, because I find I prefer cooked white onion, but if I'm having raw onion, I do quite like a bit of red onion, so I think I'm going to do that rather. And some cucumber, some tomato, maybe some grated carrot for a bit of colour. And I think that'll do us. It always sounds a bit dangerous for the night. But we're okay, we're okay. Yeah, this is going to make a good big salad. And hopefully, if you have had a couple of drinks last night, that you could make this as well, and it will help. It'll help you on the route to recovery, instead of having to, although I know that sometimes you don't feel like cooking, but it means then you don't have to get a takeaway in. Almost there. Good morning, Hoderific. You should totally be asleep. I think your stream title. Oh, does it? Oh, hang on. That should be it now. No, oh dear. Yeah, I think you should be asleep, but I'm glad you're here and you're watching for a little bit. Hopefully we can keep you company until you fall asleep. I am good, thank you. Happy that it's Sunday, having a nice chilled morning so far. Has my title changed? Because I did actually change it and then I forgot to press save. Could be there now. Oh, I thought I was doing so well this morning. I felt so on top of things. But there's always one thing. Give my hands a quick wash because they've definitely gone a bit purple. Fake KFC again. I mean, it was nice, but we can have a wee break from it, I think. It's good now. Good, I'm glad. Right, so since you've just joined us, Hoderific, just for you, I'm going to show you what we've done so far. So I'm basically making like kebab meat from these mushrooms. So I've seasoned them with paprika, smoked paprika, crushed garlic, some herbs, some turmeric and some ground coriander. I'm just kind of leaving them to sit and then I'm going to fry them off in a wee bit. And then we also have our dough for our flatbreads. I'm on a roll this morning, I'm doing quite well so far. Good now, I can't believe that. I literally thought, right, I'll need to update the stream title. That's it done. Forgot to click save. That will have confused a few people probably. She must really enjoy KFC. To be fair, I probably could eat the KFC again, it was so good. And this is a kind of a similar, yes, exactly, #1 hangover cure, a similar kind of hangover cure type idea, which I thought for a Sunday morning might be just what people need. Oh, that's the only problem with this bowl, it's much bigger. I'll get rid of my cabbages and then we can start doing a bit of a dressing for the cabbage. So for the dressing, I'm just going to get, well, to begin with, I'm just going to get some sugar, salt and vinegar. And then as I said, I'm just going to put a little bit of each of these in and kind of bash it until it becomes a little bit softer. Sunday mornings make me crave dim sum. Oh, yeah, I could eat that on a Sunday morning. That's a very specific craving. Yeah, I think that's it. I think if I've had a wee drink the night before, it is a kebab that I crave. But I'm hoping this one will be slightly healthier. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember the last time that I actually had a dim sum. Oh, thank you very much, Tron, for the gifted subs. And welcome, everyone who got a gift sub. Hoderific, Mouse, House and Magnets. Thank you very much. Oh, I've just realised my wee thing didn't pop up. I'm currently working on all of my new bits and pieces and I do have a wee alert thing that pops up when a sub comes in. Could be. Maybe I've not set it up quite right. And the emotes are coming, I'm working on it. I'm hoping in the next couple of days the emotes will be there. So Tron in particular, keep an eye out and you will have some emotes soon. Johnny Scottish, how are you this morning? Nice to see you. I hope you're well this Sunday. I know, Hoderific, how nice was that? too kind. Far too kind. Right, so I've just added some salt and sugar. And my hands are pink already. Rob's still sore. Still sore? Is that from sleeping funny? Or have you managed to do something when you had a few drinks yesterday? I'm good, thanks you. No, I'm good, thank you. I had a glass or two of wine myself last night, but I deliberately stopped before it got too messy because I thought I need to be up to do a stream at 10 o'clock, so I can't be too bad. What will your sub badges be? Well, hopefully the sub badges should... Have you got a sub badge? I can't actually see that, it's too far away. Hold on. Yes, so the sub badges I have created and I think they are there. They're just I maybe need to brighten them up a wee bit. So it's levels of copper stars, which I spent quite a long time playing about with and designing myself. You got it, nice. And then your copper star gets brighter depending on how long you've been subbed. So that was the idea to begin with, and I've got somebody working on some emotes for me just now, so they should be with us in a day or two. And I had set up the alerts, but I'm not quite sure where they've gone. So I'll have a wee look at that again when I'm finished. Still shoulder, neck. Oh, it doesn't feel like it's easing tomorrow. Chiropractor's being called. Think I need cracked. Yeah, it sounds like it. And I don't know if you're one of these people as well, but I love watching the YouTube videos where like the chiropractors just crack people. It's so like therapeutic and satisfying. A bit strange, but I'm addicted. I love watching them. Although I just get jealous. I'm like, oh, wish I could just go to someone. Only 19,380 more confetti. That's not too far. What's a vegan Juicy Lucy? I'm intrigued by that now. I prefer to be the person being cracked, yeah. Although, to be honest, I've never been to a chiropractor to get that done because it scares the life out of me. Like, anytime you watch it, you think, they're gonna break that person's neck. Like, this cannot be healthy. I mean, I'm sure it is good and I'm sure they know what they're doing, but it does just make me nervous. But hopefully that's all. You just need it cracked out of you and you'll be fine. Ooh. Lucy's is a burger that's a cheese-studded centre. I'd be up for that. Yeah, no, that sounds good to me. Stuffed. Well, I mean, cheese-studded centre sounds good too. Walking through Hyde Park and tuning in. Oh, amazing. Yeah, that's a lot more exciting than my Sunday morning. I must sleep. Oh, terrific, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. We know what you mean. A lot of force is needed to break someone's neck. Yeah, what we see in films is so not true. That's true. I think it's the facial expressions that you see in the people that are getting cracked as well. You're just kind of waiting for them to be like, right, no, that's me, I'm done. That's it. Yeah. But no, it obviously does help. And it obviously works. So it's one of these things. To be honest, I probably could do with getting it done because they say a lot of the time, you're actually, if you've got IBS, it can be either caused by having like misalignment and stuff, or at least not helped by it. So it probably would help me to go and get it done. But I think I'll need to get up a wee bit more confidence with it first. Right, so we now have here our coleslaw. The 90s action movies is left. See, that's why it's not working, how terrific. That's why all your attempts are not working. You need to try harder. So this is our cabbage, and it's got our two kinds of cabbage, the vinegar, salt and sugar. And you can see that it's got a bit softer, hopefully already. And I've just washed my hands to get the pink off, and now I've touched it again. So I'm just gonna kind of leave this to the side to sit for a bit and kind of soak in the juices and things. And while we're waiting for them, I think the next thing I'll do is maybe do the sauces now. In fact, what I'm gonna do first is just double check this, because I spent so long yesterday setting up my alerts that I'll be gutted if they're not working. So I'm gonna have a really quick look, because I feel like I kind of know, I know roughly where I'm looking for it now. Look at that. I was so pleased with them. Oh, hydrate, right, hang on. Was in there. Right, I'm gonna hydrate. Thank you for that. That was good timing, because I did actually just think, getting quite thirsty again. You must have known. Where is it? Here we go. See, that should work. I don't know why. Oh, that's annoying. Ah, right, okay. It's just for gifted subs. That's fine. Right. Can't fix it anyway at the moment, so. No, we're fine. I'll forget that idea. I'm really enjoying the hydrate thing though, because I think the first time I streamed the whole time and forgot to take a drink of anything, and by the end of it I was like, my head is thumping. Which is not good for you. So I'm quite enjoying being reminded to have a wee drink every now and then. Okay, so now I'm going to make a quick kind of garlicky yogurt sauce for it. And then if anyone has any suggestions on how they think I should do a spicy sauce, that would be much appreciated. Mayo maybe. So for this, oh, thank you, Hot Terrific. I'm going to spend most of the day just drinking water now. It's good for you though, it's all good. Right. So the next thing is the dip. So I'm going to use a mixture. I'm hoping this is still okay. We've had it quite a while, but it's a garlic mayo. I'm going to say no. Let's get rid of that. So I'm just going to mix some yogurt and some mayo. And I'm going to get some garlic. Because I think that's a kebab. I think you're supposed to pretty much kind of stink after a kebab. Which is nice. But oh, come on. I'll maybe do a slightly smaller one this time, because there's quite a lot of garlic in the mushroom mix. So I don't feel like we need quite as much. And then I'm just going to mix these together with a little bit of herbs, a bit of garlic. I think that'll do it. And then, right, so what I'm thinking about for the spicy sauce is either I could make one like this and then just add in some hot sauce or some chili sauce, or do I just use a hot sauce and not bother kind of mixing it with anything? I'm not quite sure. My take on the hot sauce is mixing the yogurt sauce with sriracha. I think that sounds, I mean, yeah. I'm not a fan of sriracha, but I could see how that would work. Can't be it. No, you can. No, you definitely can. Yeah, I mean, almost any other sauce. No, I'm not. No. I just don't get it. I really can't get it, but if that's what the people want, we'll make a creamy sriracha sauce. Maybe it'll be nicer if it's creamy. Definitely been ganged up on here. Yeah, I feel like maybe if it's creamy, it'll be better. So I'll make double the amount of this then, and then just add sriracha to half of it. And again, when I make sauces like these, I just kind of make as much as I'm just going to use up the rest of this yogurt, because I'll use it for other things as well. And they're quite handy just to have in the fridge, that if you then have a meal in the evening, you've got a little dip to have with it already. And this one's really nice with pizza as well. Really good with pizza. You can dunk the crusts in. Oh, don't fall in. And then to add that, I'm going to add some mayo. Get a better bowl. And again, oh, I've done it again. Thank goodness Buff Bagel isn't here, unless he's lurking about somewhere. So again, it's a vegan recipe. I've used vegan yogurt. You just use vegan mayo. I'm gonna learn to get some vegan mayo in. And then we'll just kind of mix that. Hopefully get most of the lumps out. And I find that the vegan mayo tastes exactly the same. It's maybe slightly more sour, maybe, but not enough that you can taste. And then if you've got it in the vegan yogurt, then you can't taste it at all. Right, I think that'll do for the yogurt, the mayo rather. I'm gonna get that out of the way in case somebody. Maybe I'll do that actually. That could do that on a stream. Make my own vegan mayo. Don't know where I would start, but I'm sure I can find a recipe somewhere. I wonder how you do make vegan mayo. I think I saw a recipe for one with soy milk. Don't know what you add to it, because obviously you need something to thicken it up. So that might be quite interesting. And I do get through quite a lot of mayo, so that might be worth it actually, because the vegan mayo is expensive. And you think it'd be less expensive because they're not using the egg, which is presumably the expensive part of a mayo. So it's still a wee bit kind of lumpy. I think my whisk is in the dishwasher. So I'm gonna try and get all the lumps out with a spoon. Yeah, that's not too bad now. And then I'm just gonna add some of the herbs to it. Going to look a little, no problem at all. Got an intro to storyboard. Oh, nice. That sounds interesting. Well, enjoy. And thank you for the lurk. I've even got a little command set up. See, I'm getting there. Definitely getting there. There we go. So that's all mixed together quite nice now. I think that'll be. Look, see, look at me go. It smells exactly. One thing at a time. Got a little list every day that I tick off, my little steps. I'm definitely getting there, not too many left to go. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to try a tiny bit. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so that must have been, what, about maybe about 150 mils of yogurt, the soy yogurt, and then about 2 tablespoons of vegan mayo, about a tablespoon of mixed herbs, and 1 garlic clove. That's what we end up with here. What I'm going to do now is get 2 nice wee bowls. It's all about the presentation. What a strange view this is. I stole your pie. What an unusual name. That looks so tasty. I mean, yeah, it is good. It's just a sauce at the moment, but it is pretty good. And it should go pretty well with our kebabs. Okay, that's maybe about half. So I've got half in one bowl, and then I'm going to add some sriracha to the next one, because that's what the people want. So nothing to do with what I want. That's what the people want, so that's what they're getting. I don't even know how much of this to add. But that much. Then just kind of stir it through. Is that enough? Do we need more? It doesn't look overly spicy. Maybe add a little bit more. Oh, it's the smell of it is just rotten. Oh dear. Oh well. Maybe it'll be nice with everything else. We'll go with it and see. I'll trust you guys. You can never have enough sriracha. No, you definitely can have enough sriracha. No, sriracha is enough. How does that look for a colour? Does that look... I mean, it looks a little bit darker in real life than it does on the camera. But... Oh, right, we'll put in a wee bit more. Oh, excuse you. But then that's your lot. You're not getting any more than that. Yeah, that looks like a better colour. And then we can pop that in another wee bowl. And that's so typical. I knew that was going to happen. I've made more of the sriracha one than I have of the normal one. But don't say I'm not good to use. So that's our 2 little kind of sauces to have with the kebabs. So we've got our garlic mayo one and our sriracha mayo. And then obviously, if you are a huge... It's not a bad thing, no it is. And obviously, if you do like a lot of spice, you can obviously, if you've got these 2 sauces, you can obviously just add some more sriracha on the top, or some more hot sauce or something if there's one that you like. Right, so they're done. What do we need to do now? Tidy up. Look how tidy. I don't think my kitchen has ever been this tidy while I've been cooking. So pleased with myself. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to roll out our flatbreads so we can get going on them. And then after that, it's just going to be a case of frying them off, frying off the mushrooms, and then we can start putting it all together. So it's quite a quick recipe actually. Right. That off a wee bit. So this is a fun part. Playing about with gluten-free dough. He's out the road. Right, So now I need to decide. Our dough looks pretty good. Oil on the one side. Maybe oiled it too much. That's quite oily now. Right. So that's our dough. Right. So that feels quite good. Now, the thing with gluten-free baking, it can be quite kind of powdery, quite crumbly. So if you're rolling stuff out, you don't want to add too much flour to your worktop because you don't want to give it an excuse to kind of fall apart. So this is quite sticky. So once I start to roll it out, it's probably going to get stuck to everything. I'm going to try a little bit of flour, but just not too much. Quite often I would use cling film. Will I use cling film? Oh, I don't know. No, I'm going to use a wee bit of flour. A big pan. Use a wee bit of flour and see how we go. And if it does stick, I can always get the cling film out then. Oh, stab the dough. Oops. And then I want a knife, the rolling pin. Of course. The rolling pin. Right. I head out the road a wee bit. So the plan with this is, I reckon I'm going to get about 4 flatbreads out of this. So before I start rolling it out, I'm going to cut it into 4 sort of chunks, and then I'll roll them out individually. Oh, I've got flour all down myself. Apron's going in the wash after this. You've got 4 little balls like that. And you want them to be roughly the same size, unless obviously you specifically want maybe 2 that are a bit bigger. So this is going to be interesting because I have made this recipe a few times, but I've done them as naan breads, so I've wanted them a bit bigger and a bit chunkier, and it's not been as big of a problem if they're not kind of bendy, because I'm just dunking them in curry. I want these to be a bit bendier because I want them to kind of fit round the kebab meat. I'm sure there's probably a way of doing it. I'm just keeping moving it as I kind of roll it out to make sure it doesn't stick too much. Looking quite good though. Is that going to be big enough? Oh, right, Tron, if you're still here, is a doner something that you're a fan of? Because I know it's quite a big thing in Germany. And would you have a veggie doner, or would you go for a meat one? If you are still here, of course. Right, I think. And then I'm hoping. I'm not quite right. I don't quite know where I'm going with this, to be fair. Yeah, so I think once I've rolled it out, I want to put the meat on one side. Well, the meat, fake meat, and then kind of fold it over. Yeah, so I want it slightly longer than wide. Yeah. So I think that looks good for the first one. Hopefully. Okay. That looks alright. So let's try the next one. And it's quite a good thickness, I think, because you don't want it too thick. Otherwise you end up just eating kind of bread. You basically just want, oh, you basically want it more as a, like a holder. Oh, it's sticking. As a kind of holder for all your fillings. You probably just move the other one out of the way instead of trying to avoid it, but why make life easy for myself when I can make it much harder? And I think I'll do 2 to begin with, see how they look, and then do the other 2. Am I gonna get this off here? No! It's quite sticky. Oh, that looks a mess. Now let's try that one again. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stick this one on and get it out of my road, and then I can properly roll out the next one instead of trying to work around it. And you want, ideally, a dry pan. So we're not going to put any oil in it. And you want it fairly hot. And obviously it's not going to take long for this to cook through because it is quite thin. See if I've got a fish slice too. Yeah. I'll use my fish slice, help me move it over into the pan so that it hopefully doesn't break as I'm moving it. And then I'm thinking once it's hot and almost kind of finished, I'm going to try and kind of fold it over while it's still hot. I think if you fold it over when it's cold, it'll just snap. Looks nice. I hope so. I mean, it does look quite good so far, but I find that's always the case with gluten-free stuff, that it always looks nice before you actually do anything with it, and then you do something with it and it's a disaster. But the dough seems quite good. I'm quite pleased with the dough. While that's going there, I'll stick this one on so you can see. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, it's not sticking. Pan probably could have been a wee bit hotter. But it's coming. Hopefully this will turn out good. Hopefully. Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to need all the crossed fingers I can get with this, I think. Because as I said, that's it. Normally these are really, really nice naan breads. But it is quite a different thing because you're just going to tear bits off it to dunk in your curry. But this I want it to hold together and fold so that I can put kebab stuff in the middle of it. I'm not going to be too hopeful and then I won't be disappointed. And it'll be a nice surprise if it does work. I'm not sure I prefer this music actually. Oh, can you see it? Look. So we're getting wee bubbles in it. So I think that's normally a good thing. So I'll just keep my eye on it. I'm intrigued to see if these are if I can get these to fold. possibility. It's a possibility. Oh, I've just seen the 100 bits. Thank you very much, Julian. I don't know why it didn't pop up for me there. That was weird, but thank you very much. Much appreciated. Right, I hope we've all got our fingers crossed for this now. So you can, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I can see that it is actually starting to cook on this side already. I think I'm going to turn it over and kind of see what we're working with. So it's not gone brown, so I think it probably needed to be a wee bit hotter, the pan. But we'll know that for next time. I think I might be able to fold this. Oh, how exciting! How very exciting. Yeah, I can almost hear it kind of sizzling now, I think. So I think this is going to be a bit better. And they do seem a wee bit fluffier than the naans normally. I'm going to put it up a bit. I don't think it's hot enough. Yay! We still need our fingers crossed. Because ideally I want a bit of colour on them. Even just because they look nicer with a bit of colour. So a bit of colour on each side. And then, although I should maybe find something to fold them over. What could I use? What could I use? I should have thought about this before. Maybe that. Just sit it over the side of that bowl. That might work. I know this is what you do with like pastry if you're making like, what are they called? Oh, like the twirls. You have to kind of shape them when they're still hot. So I think that's what I'm going to try and do. So I've got this bowl here. I'm going to hang them over the edge and hope that shapes them to roughly the shape I want them. Super Noodle, how are you today? Nice to see you. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a good Sunday, and thank you for the hydration. I'm really enjoying this today. Everyone's looking after me. Everyone's making sure I'm drinking enough, and I'm all for it. Especially after a couple of glasses of wine last night, I could definitely do with the water this morning. See, I'm too impatient. But there's a tiny bit of colour on that side. I'm going to put it up again a wee bit. Oh, I've got flour. That's the problem with that black apron. Flour all over it now. So Super Noodle, since you've just joined us, we are making veggie kebabs this morning. So kind of like a doner kebab. So that's why I'm making the flatbreads for this just now. We've got a couple of sauces. So we've got a garlic mayo sauce and a sriracha mayo sauce. We have some cabbage salad, and I've also got some mushrooms that have been kind of marinating in some spices and herbs and stuff that I'm going to fry off when these are finished. And then hopefully it'll all come together and I'll have a delicious lunch. Oh, we're definitely getting there. Although that feels a bit hard now. Oh, I'm worried. Oh no. Oh, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm not sure. So we've got a bit of colour on it. But you can see, I don't know if you can, that's hot. I don't know if you can see that. But there's definitely a bit of a crack. I'm slightly concerned that if I go to shape them, they're just going to kind of crack open. We'll try it. I've got 4 attempts. If I could get 2 out of them that work, then that would be helpful for my pictures. I don't want much. I mean, I suppose it depends how much colour you want on these, because... Oh, that's the problem when the steam comes out, it's roasting. I think they are fairly well cooked through now. Again, I'm far too impatient for this. Like, come on, hurry up. Just a little bit. And also, I've only done these on the gas, so I know what temperature they want to be there. Oh, you can soften them a bit with the microwave in the cupboard. Yes, I can. With the microwave in the cupboard. That's what I'm going to need to get an emote of, a microwave in a cupboard. That might be an idea though, actually. I'm going to try the first one just like this and try folding it over the bowl. We'll see how we go with it, and then I can see what we need to change for the next one. Although I could probably put it, I need the rolling pin though. That's disappointing. I was thinking I could put them over the rolling pin. Pop them in a bowl of water for a few seconds. So how does that work? So just pop that in with like a wee bowl of water on the side. Just get like a plate, put that on, a wee bowl of water. That might be an idea. I think we're nearly there with this one anyway, so we can start trying. Although it's got a huge big air bubble in it now. It's alive! I don't think it looks nearly as drastic as it does here. But there's a huge air bubble on this side, so it's all started moving off of the pan. That looks pretty good though. So if you've just arrived and you didn't see what went in this, it was 200 grams of plain flour, 200 milliliters of vegan yogurt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of xanthan gum, and about a tablespoon of mixed herbs. Oh, and I put 1 clove of crushed garlic. Did I put garlic in this one? No, I didn't, because I put garlic in the dip and in the mushrooms, so there's no garlic in this one. Right, okay, are we ready? I'm going to try the bowl thing. Can I do it here? That's not hot. If I do it here, you can see what I'm doing. Well, that's not working. Oh, it is a wee bit. Like a tiny, tiny bit. I'm scared I'm going to break it. Just doing it very, very slowly. If only if do it just before serving. Right, that's what I'm going to try with the next one. Oh, so if I put it on here and then get a little bowl of water and put all of that in the microwave, is that what we're saying? If only I could get like wee clips. Although I think this is kind of working. I don't know if it's going to stay this way. It's so hot. I think it's doing something. I mean, it's definitely a bit more. It would help if it wasn't so hot. And look at that. We've got a wee bowl. Oh, for the love of God, it's hot. That is so hot. I mean, it's taken a bit of. I could never open a kebab shop because it would take me about an hour to do each kebab, but it's worked better than I was expecting. Right, do we reckon I can just leave that there? Yeah, I'm going to leave that there for just now. It might be an idea to do it anyway just before serving, and then make sure that it is quite nice and kind of soft for putting the stuff in so it doesn't break then. Right. I wish I could remember what temperature I had it at now. I think it was that. And I'll put the next one on. Keep them on the bowl for just now and use the microwave just before. Yes, good call. Let's do that. This one seems maybe slightly thinner. Slightly. Right, I'm just going to roll out the other ones while we're waiting for that one. Oh, I'm really pleased with that so far. I know we're not quite there, but it's bended a lot better than I was expecting it to. So if we can keep it like that, that would be good. And I think we must have lost Hojerific. I think he's fallen asleep. That's the problem with all of these time zones. I tend to do that as well. I'll start watching one, but it'll be about midnight already and I think, no, I need to go to sleep. It does look good, doesn't it? I'm happy so far. Thank you, Elaine. I am happy with this so far. It's going well, I would say. So then I think because we can see that this so far is working quite well, you could possibly do slightly bigger ones if you wanted. Have like a proper kind of kebab feast and have a huge kebab rather than just a fairly small one. But I thought if I do it this way, then I've got more chance of kind of getting it right and being able to adapt if things aren't working. Every time I can come over here, all I can smell is the mushrooms. But they smell incredible. So not long. Not long. And we're getting the wee bubbles on this one now as well. Oh, you can see that quite well on the camera actually. That's quite good. We're getting the wee bubbles. Fingers crossed it goes the same way as this guy. I would say that's pretty good. And then you can, I mean, it's almost like a wee kind of taco. You can get your salad in the bottom, your meat on the, well, your meat. You see your meat, your meat and stuff on the top. I know I'm happy with that. And it's not falling apart when I pick it up. So that's also a good sign. The interesting part is going to be stuffing it, because I always find, especially like with tacos, I absolutely love tacos, but they're so messy. They're not designed to be tacos really, because you start putting stuff in, they all fall out. You start eating it, it kind of crunches and everything falls out the sides. You end up with like a taco bowl anyway, but it's so tasty. So good. I'm hoping this got a bit more colour a bit quicker this time because it is a bit hotter. So that's looking quite good already. Just gonna get a couple of bits out the road and then I can enjoy the rest of my Sunday when I'm finished and I don't have to spend the rest of the time in the kitchen doing the dishes. I think what I'll do, once I've got the breads, I'll soak the kitchen and then I will do a little bit of kind of salad just to go with it. So I'm going to do some cucumber, maybe a little bit of tomato, some carrot, and that should be all quite nice with it. A huge air bubble in that one. I don't think I want the air bubbles because I feel like that's going to make them crack I'm going to try and kind of get rid of some of that, and then I'm going to go and get my mop because I've just soaked the floor. Exactly. I wasn't planning on doing a cleaning stream, but it's it's taking a turn for the worse here, I think. Right, let's see if it's time to turn this one over. No. But no, this is fine because this is exactly what happened with the last one and it worked well, so let's just go with it. I can't really chop up salad when I've got stuff here. I think what I might do is, if I can get two shaped like this guy, you can see this one here, I might just make 2 naan breads. So I might make curry at some point, so that might be quite handy to have. Or should I just make 4 kebab holders? I'm not sure. Right, I'm going to grab the next bits to do the salad anyway. That's a courgette. That's not. Right, so a couple of tomatoes, because I think tomatoes are quite nice in kebabs. A cucumber and a carrot. And then once I've sorted all of this mess out, I can start doing my salad. How are we looking? Still not quite hot enough. I put the heat up a wee bit because I'm not getting the colour that I want on it. Smell that, smells good. Such a huge bubble in this one. Oh, I was going to do some onion as well, wasn't I? Go and grab, I've got a red onion in here. Now, do we think red onion or white onion? Red onion or white onion? I do prefer red onion, so I'm tempted to say red onion. But I feel like the more kind of traditional way would be a white onion. But then, to be fair, there's nothing traditional about this. That's what I tend to do. Onion is a must in a doner. Yes, I would say so. I prefer red. So do I think red just... I think with white onion or brown onion, you need to chop it up so finely for it not to be like overpowering and just stink. So I need to make a hole in this to get the steam out. Whereas red onion, I think, is much more... It's just got a nicer flavour. This is actually like a pillow now. Can you see how much that's puffed up? Look how chunky it is. Nah, it must be exactly the same then. So yeah, I think I'll do red onion. We've just about got the air out of this. Just about. I don't know why there was so much air in that one. That was weird. That's... Do you know what that... I think by accident I've made a pita bread. I think that's what I've done. By accident that turned into a pita. So that's interesting to know because I do like a pita bread. I'll maybe try that deliberately another time. Yeah, because they should all like puff up like that. That's brilliant, just like a regular doner flatbread. I hope it tastes similar as well. But yeah, so far I'm quite pleased with it. But look, I mean, you can see that. Look how much air is still in this thing. So this has probably got the same colour as the first one. Do we want it darker or maybe a bit more on that side? And then that'll do for that one. And then what I'm thinking is the last two I can maybe put in together. I'm gonna get a wee drink of water. They don't roll well, you could just cut it open. Ah, that's clever. And then you would get a much, like a thinner side on either side, so you wouldn't have nearly as much kind of dough to get through. See all these ideas. We're all full of ideas on a Sunday. I love it. Right, let's try this one. Are we ready? We try not to scald myself when the steam comes out. Look how well that one worked. I am absolutely amazed. I didn't think this would work this well. That's even better than the first one. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to keep going because I'm really enjoying myself. Because it's working, I'm like, yes, let's make them all the same. Yeah, that one's much better than the first one even. So I'm going to do all four because then I can pick the best two and use those ones. Maybe that was because that one was a wee bit flatter, like a wee bit thinner, so I'm going to roll it out a tiny bit more. And maybe that makes a difference. Looks great. Does, doesn't it? Not to blow my own trumpet or anything, but it does look pretty good. Right. Let's try and get this in the pan without breaking it. $160. I know now also what temperature I want it at, which is always good. Maybe I could open a kebab shop. Maybe not. Yeah, the proof is in the tasting, so I'll hold judgment until we've tried it. I'm intrigued for the mushrooms, though. I think they smell so good. So I am hopeful. See, this one has gone more like what you would expect gluten-free flour to do, and it's kind of, it looks quite crumbly. I'm not quite sure why that is, but I've maybe used a wee bit too much flour. But we'll see how it is when it's in the pan. I'm sure it'll be okay. Oh, come on. And that'll do for that one. And that's the thing, if you make a wee bit extra dough, then you can just kind of play about with it until you get it the way you want it and the size you want it and things as well. We're bubbling again. Right, so this one is weird. This one feels quite different. This it feels a lot harder, and I think it could be because it's a bit thicker. So I'm hoping that having made them a bit thinner, I'll get more like this. And that one was a kind of a bent in a weird shape because I'd left it in the bowl. So I've moved it about a wee bit, so I think it's better now. And then we'll see how the next one goes, and then we've just got one left to do. I can start clearing up this stuff a wee bit, and then I can, once this last one's in the pan, I can do the salad. And then it's just the mushrooms, and we can eat soon. Which is very exciting. Because I have had toast and cheese so far today, and that is not enough. Although now that Hodgerific is mentioned as Juicy Lucy, I'm very intrigued for that. And I do quite fancy trying it. Because I love a burger with cheese in the middle. There's one that we get quite often, and it's the Linda McCartney one, and I'm sure it's made from mushrooms, but it's got little chunks of mozzarella in. So nice. And it's so good because obviously when you cook it, the mozzarella kind of melts, so you get like little bursts of mozzarella. Lovely. So I feel like a Juicy Lucy could be a good shout. But yes, so that's one of my wee, what's it called, channel points. Still getting used to all this terminology and things, but yeah, so I think it's, what did I set it at, 20,000? And then I will create whatever recipe you want me to create within reason. And hopefully I'm hoping that'll kind of give me some new ideas and maybe make some things that are from like different countries and stuff. Couldn't decide there if that was the music making that noise or a cat outside. Not sure, I think it was. Oh, coffee machine's away. We're definitely getting there. This has got more colour on it now. I'm getting into the swing of things. Nice. And then I think for the salad, I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm literally just going to chop up the bits and pieces. I'll maybe grate the carrot, and everything else will just get chopped up. And it can just get added because you've got a kind of a dressing with the cabbage and all the sauces. I think that'll be enough. I don't think you need anything else with the other bits of salad. I've managed to get flour everywhere. I think this one's nearly done. Honey, they definitely do feel, it needs a wee bit longer. They do feel a wee bit more, I don't know what I've done differently, but they definitely feel different to when I make them as naan breads. So I'm not sure if it is because I have maybe rolled them out more. Because apart from that, I've done absolutely everything the same. I think. Yeah, because it was the exact same recipe I used. So I'm not sure. It's just a good day, I think. That's all it is. If you can see that, that looks like a pretty good little kebab mouth. Hello! And that one is not quite as good because it's definitely got a bit more of a kind of a chunk at the bottom. I'm sure it'll be fine for eating. but it definitely doesn't feel quite as nice as the other one. And we've got another pita. I'm going to try and get some of the air out of this. Quite therapeutic. I suppose it's a bit like if you've got like an inflatable mattress and you're pushing the air out of that. Is that just me, or is that, I find that quite therapeutic? But then I do maybe need to get out a bit more. But there's something quite therapeutic about this as well, although for some reason I can't get rid of all the air. Maybe that is the difference. There's something about having the air in the middle that makes it bendier. If we've got any scientists here watching, is that the case? And for the mushrooms, if you missed when I said earlier, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a big pan, pop the mushrooms in. I think I'm going to try doing a dry pan this time because I put oil in it the last time and there was definitely a lot of liquid that came out. So I'm thinking if I try a dry pan, and then I'm going to use another pan to kind of press the mushrooms down, squeeze out all the liquid or most of the liquid, and then just fry them off like that quickly. And hopefully that's going to kind of almost resemble kind of like kebab meat. So that's the plan. So far we're doing well. So far I'm very pleased with how it's going. And I think, to be honest, my biggest fear was the flatbreads. I thought if they don't work out, I'm going to have to do kebab bowls because I've got nothing to actually put the kebab meat in. I keep saying kebab meat, kebab mushrooms. I think that's done, and that feels a lot nicer again, so I think it must be something to do with rolling them out a bit bigger. Right, do we reckon that's all cooked? That's the thing, I'm going to be so pleased with this and then I'll bite into it and be like, it's raw! Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Okay, I think that one's good as well. Touching the bottom now. Right. Pick that off for a wee second and then we'll try and... It's so hot. There we go. Perfect. That's quite exciting. I now know how to make gluten-free flatbreads. Oh no. See, that's it. I get too confident and I've ruined this one. This one's got a wee bit squashed in transit. But I think I've salvaged it. Right. So I'm gonna have a quick look at this guy here. Ooh, try and get him to bend properly round the corners. I'm glad I found this bowl. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to use for a bit, but this seems to be working quite well. I'm going to fold it round this way as well because the last one I folded. That looks good. Yeah, so I only folded it one way and then it was kind of bent weird, so fold it on both sides and then hopefully it'll be kind of straight fold. And I definitely think we've got two that are better than the other one. This one's not quite as good. That was the first one. But the next two look pretty good. And then just the last one to go. While we're waiting for that, I'll clear my board and then I can start making the salad. bubbles again. It's all going to plan. Okay. It's definitely all coming together. So I'm just going to get another bowl. I'll maybe get one of these bigger bowls. And then I'm just going to slowly start chopping everything. Hydrate, thank you. Cheers. I definitely need that today. And I do find it's definitely something I forget to do unless I'm properly reminded about it. So I much appreciate it. Yeah, so we've got our last flatbread on just now. It should only take a couple of minutes, and in the meantime I've started chopping up the veg for the salad. So I'm just chopping up a couple of tomatoes to begin with. I don't know if you would rather see the pan on or me chopping, because both are very exciting. I'm just going to kind of chop these into, yeah, just into kind of slices. Oh, this is a very therapeutic Sunday morning, I feel. Very chilled. I think as well it helps that I'm on top of my dishes. Chopping. Right. Oh. There we go. Yeah, I think I feel so chilled because I know that I'm on top of my dishes. I know that I've got everything's on the way, and I've not got 6 million things that I still need to do. I found that with the when I made the KFC bucket on Friday, it was so good, but there were quite a lot of bits and pieces to it, and it was all stuff I hadn't done before. So although it turned out really well and it was interesting to do, it was quite stressful. So I think I'm quite glad that today is a bit more straightforward. And I can just take my time, enjoy my Sunday morning, enjoy the chat. Oh, you're welcome. So yes, it's all good today. I hope everyone else is having a nice chilled Sunday morning. Not too many big plans. Quick check at this, see if it needs turned over. Almost. And then next I'm gonna do just not too much, but just a bit of sliced red onion. I'm just gonna chop the ends off because it was in the fridge and they've gone a wee bit kind of dry. We'll get rid of those. And then I'm just going to finely chop this. Do it that way actually. And again, fairly fine because you don't want like too extreme an onion flavour. But it is quite nice just getting a wee chunk every now and then. Although I'm not sure this is actually going to be enough. This doesn't seem like a lot of onion. I might do a wee bit more. What do we reckon? I think I do need more. Well, actually that might be okay. I think with all the other bits that I'm doing, I think that'll be enough. Oh, it's still falling apart. So we'll go with that. And then do the other pieces. You can actually see that bowl anyway. Oh, that's a strong onion. Whew. I'm normally quite lucky because I wear contact lenses, so onions don't tend to make me cry. But that one is really strong, so it's gone right up my nose. Oh, let me give you the sneezies. What was I doing? Right. And now a bit of cucumber. And then I'll check on the flatbread because I think it'll be needing turning now. There we go. Oh, I'm forgetting you can't see that anymore. But yeah, you've seen a few flatbreads now. You know what the deal is. Just finely slicing. I should be using this knife more often. I think it's actually sharper than my other one. Right, so I'm just going to do maybe about a third of the cucumber. Chop that up, and then I think I'm going to grate some carrot. Mainly just because it's quicker than sort of chopping it up into little like sticks or whatever. So I'm just going to grate some carrot, and then we can add that to the salad as well. And then once my last flatbread is finished, I can then start on the mushrooms, which are the meat substitute. So that's the exciting part. Yeah, I think that's enough there. And then we've got one carrot. I need my peeler. Oh, and for once, my grater is clean. Every time I go to grate something, like, oh, the grater's in the dishwasher again. But I would say I'm prepared today, but I don't think that's the case. I think that was more luck. Because yet again, my dishwasher is full of dirty dishes. So I can't put any of them in there just now, but I'm on top of things. We're all good. We're all good. Now we'll just grate this down. You can tell the carrot is definitely had better days. It's gone a little bit soft, but it's not too bad. So just at the end, but I cut most of that off. I don't know about you, but I hate watching people grate stuff. I absolutely hate it. There's been so many times that I've grated my hand that it always makes me nervous. Right. And that's just a wee bit of carrot just to add to the salad. Plus it's nice and colourful as well. Oh, and while I'm speaking to you, the last flatbread has gone all puffy as well. So that, as we've seen, is apparently a good sign. So happy with that. Wash that properly in a minute. Right, so that's all our salad done. So I mean, look how colourful does that look? So that has to be good for you, doesn't it? Has to be. Okay, and then I'll get rid of all my rubbish. And we'll see what this last wee flatbread is doing. Actually, I could show you the other flatbreads so far on here, and you can see what they look like after having been in the pan. These are currant flatbread. It looks like I'm hanging a washing up over the bowl. Definitely not washing. So these are our gluten-free flatbreads that we've made so far. We've got 3. I've managed to get them quite kind of pliable, that hopefully I'll be able to then fill them with salad, some cabbage, some of the kebab mushrooms, and that'll be like a fairly easy little pocket to eat. We've got 2 in particular that are good. One that's maybe a wee bit sad looking, and then one on here, so we'll see how this is going. Yeah, I would say that looks pretty good. And then once I've done this, I'll give the pan a wee wipe out, and we'll do the mushrooms, and then it'll be time to plate it all up, which is the bit I'm excited for, because I'm really looking forward to this now. After a couple of glasses of wine last night, this is exactly what I need this morning. Right, I think that'll do. So I'm going to shift these about a wee bit, and there'll hopefully be enough space on there for this last one. Just about. Oh, right, so that is obviously making a difference. So this has got a bit of an air bubble in the middle, and that's stopping it bend as much. Not too bad though, it's got a wee crack in it, but I think we're okay. Just gonna keep kind of pressing it, and that'll hopefully help it hold its shape. I think we can put that one to the side and give these 3 the space, because these are the 3 that are behaving themselves a bit better. And then I'll get rid of this so that we can then start our mushrooms. Cool down my pan a wee bit so I can dry it off, because at the moment it's roasting. Right. That's a bit cooler now. And then I'm going to get these, it's all a bit floury. Right, so now I can put, where are you? This one back on. And I can show you our mushrooms. So, these are our mushrooms. So if you missed it at the beginning, these are in a kind of, almost like a kind of marinade of paprika, smoked paprika, crushed garlic, turmeric, coriander powder, ground coriander, some mixed herbs. I think that's it, and they smell amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these in the pan, just a dry pan, and then using a trick, I can't remember who I learned it from. I think it was maybe, I don't know if you'll know of Wicked Kitchen. I think it's a vegan range at Tesco, and he does a few different like cooking videos on YouTube, and I think it was on there that I saw it, but it seems to work really well because I tried it on Friday. And basically what we're going to do is pop the mushrooms in the pan and then squash them with the bottom of this pan, and that helps to get all the liquid out, and they're really, really tasty, and they've got more of a kind of meat texture in theory. So let's see how we go. Well, I'll put that on first actually. We'll hopefully get it to a good temperature. It's funny though, the mushrooms are always really off-putting because they always looks like a lot of mushrooms. Like that was 3 big mushrooms, but then as soon as they cook, they disappear to nothing. So I'm looking at this now thinking, is this going to be enough? Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. And the next time I do it, I'll know just to make like double. I'll use this bowl for them. Right, so we're getting a bit of heat on this. So I'm going to start putting the mushrooms out. Maybe just do it with my hands. I'm just going to kind of lay them out like this to give them the best chance of kind of getting properly squashed. Doesn't sound ideal for a mushroom, but a wee jigsaw. That would keep you busy for a wee while. I love a jigsaw. It's funny because people get so into jigsaws during lockdown, and I already love jigsaws, but I don't think I actually did one during the whole of lockdown. Might do one today actually. That's got me in the mood for one. Right, so it's gonna take me a couple of batches probably to do this, just so that I can make sure that it's all kind of getting an even cook. And then, so I think I want to do this immediately. Can't remember how I did it the last time. I'm gonna give it a wee minute, just to get the heat through. And then, because I've just realised, so basically when I did them on Friday, I felt like I oiled it all too much. But now I'm thinking I maybe should have oiled it slightly because they're probably going to stick to the bottom of this pan. Unless I maybe put a wee bit of oil on that. That just seems so strange though, putting oil in the bottom of your pan. Although I think they're liquidy enough. I think they'll be okay. Right, let's try it. Oh, the smell of that. They're not sticking. Yay! So that's good news. Right, so this, you can actually, I don't know if you can hear it, you probably can't, but I can hear the liquid starting to kind of come out of all of them. And it's sizzling a bit more, which is what we want. It's not the best view, because obviously you can't see anything. But, so like you can see now, there's loads of liquid. So we're just going to keep going with this. And I've done it again. Every time. Just get a proper, you could probably get a better squeeze if you had, if your pan sizes kind of worked a bit better, but I've got the handle there that's in the way. But you can see hopefully there's quite a lot of liquid come out. So we're definitely getting there. And you don't want to cook these for too long because they will just start to kind of disappear completely. That's the only problem. You lift the pan up and half of the mushrooms are stuck to the bottom. One's over this side. I'm intrigued to see how all of this goes together. Hopefully it'll be quite tasty. Yeah, you can hear the liquid coming out now. How good do they look? How good do they look? I think they might be good to go actually. I was considering turning them over, but I'm not sure actually. Maybe I could do. Right, hold on, I'm gonna get. Woo. Pop that out the road, and then. So I mean, obviously it's not quite kebab meat, but hopefully it'll be a similar taste and a similar consistency. And I always feel like when you've got like the salad and everything as well, when there's so much to it, you don't really need something that's exactly like meat. Oh, come on. I think they look pretty good. I might try a wee end of one. Wait until it cools down a wee second. Oh, the smell of it though. Yum. What do we reckon? Do these need a bit longer? I'll try this one. Mm-hmm. I don't know. No, I think they're good. I think if I cook them too long, they'll start to almost go kind of a bit more like mush. Oh, the flavour in that. Yum. I can imagine that's going to be really nice with all the other bits now. I was struggling to imagine how they taste, but... And then we'll pop our next lot on. They look tasty, good. And I've just tried one and they do taste nice as well, so... And that's always the main thing. Things don't have to look nice, but as long as they taste nice. So it's definitely getting more and more like a jigsaw because it's all kind of smaller pieces. So I think if I had cut up the mushrooms slightly thicker, I don't think they would have fallen apart quite as much. But I suppose it is just like kind of little chunks of kebab. Yeah, so I think I'll do this one and then one more. And that should be us. And squeeze some in wee corners. It really is. It's like Tetris. Tetris or a jigsaw. Good. And then we'll pop our pan back on and give it a good old squish. So it seems like such a strange thing to do, but it seems to be working. Right, I don't need the oil. I can get rid of that. I'm so pleased with myself tidying up after everything. Right, have I missed anything? We've got our flatbreads, we're getting our meat, we've got our salad, we've got our cabbage salad, and we've got 2 sauces. I think that's everything. I'm don't think you'd be able to fit any more in the kebabs, even if you tried. Yeah, you can hear the liquid coming out of them already. Oh, they get such a nice colour. I mean, look at that. I think it's like the turmeric and the paprika, but the colour on them. Right, that's it. That's definitely the next thing on my list. I'll do a wish list with a measuring cup and new tongs. And then I can stop complaining about them. They do look really good. The colour in them, I think that's the key to these ones. The longer you kind of leave them in the herbs and spices, the better. Because that seems to be what's happened here. And they're getting such a nice colour on them. Plus it's quite good because this part doesn't take long at all. Once you've got all the other bits and pieces on the go. I just have to do it in kind of 3 stages because the little pan is just a bit too small. Thickening slightly. Sounds so good. I wish you could smell it. Yeah, let's see if we can turn these over. Oh, look at that. Because this has got the added bonus of like the extra spices from the first lot that were still on the bottom of the pan. It's amazing though, you put in so, like the pan is literally full when you put the mushrooms in. And then after you stop squashing them, you open it up again and go, where have all the mushrooms gone? Right, I think I'm happy with those. So let's pop these in our bowl. And that's it. Like I started with a huge big bowl of mushrooms. And now I've got this wee piddly thing on the side. But they'll taste nicer now than they would have before, so. And that's it, you don't need a huge amount of them when you've got all the other salady bits and pieces. Right, and then we'll I'm just going to pop these out and then I'll spread them out a wee bit from when they're in the pan rather. Yum. See, this is all the good bits, the bits that are like soaked in the spices and bits of just spice. They'll be nice and strong. Right, and one last squish. And check quickly on my little flatbreads. That one's done the same thing. It's bent just in the one way, but and then what did we say again before? So before serving, if we put the flatbreads in the microwave for 30 seconds with some water, and hopefully that'll help to kind of bend them again. wonder if I could get something to put the water in the middle of the bowl. Yeah. Perfect. I don't think I could fit that bowl and anything else in the microwave. I really wish you could smell this. The mushrooms just smell incredible. And again, so this is one that I've kind of made up again. But what I'm going to do today is the last couple of recipes that I've done, I'm going to write them out and put them on the Discord. So if you've seen anything in the last couple of streams that don't have a recipe on the Discord yet, let me know. But I will try and do the rest of them today, so that if you fancy trying any of them, then you can. And I'll need to try and remember what I actually put in all this stuff. I think these are nearly done. Yeah, they look good. So I'm going to get rid of this pan. That threw me off the last time, because as I was doing my dishes, normally obviously you would wash the inside of your pot or your pan, but with that one I had to wash the underneath of it, which just seemed a bit strange. Oh. Yeah, I think if you had a good non-stick pan, this would maybe work a bit better. This technically is non-stick, but it definitely could be a bit less sticky, because it all seems to have stuck to it, but I've got most of it out. Right, and then I can put that off. I'm going to fill this with water, because otherwise I'm never ever going to get that clean ever again. Ooh. Okay, so now we've come to the good part, where I can start putting everything together. So I'll show you how the mushrooms have come out. So that's how they're looking just now. And I would say that looks pretty good. I mean, it doesn't, you can tell it's not meat, obviously. But for a kind of a filling in this, I think it's going to be really nice. Right, so we've got our mushroom meat for the kebab. We've got our little flatbreads. And I've just put a bowl in the middle, so I'm going to put a little bit of water in that and pop that into the microwave for 30 seconds. As we've chatted about in the chat, which will be, I think that's a good call. And then we've got our salady bits and pieces, and then we've got our 2 sauces. We've got our garlicky mayo and our sriracha mayo. We've got quite a lot of bowls now, actually. And then spoons to dish it up, and then we've got our nice cabbage salad. So the next step is to start putting it all together. See, that looks like a wee kebab station, does it not? I'm sure this is legit. It's legit. I hope you don't ruin them with my... Well, if I do, I'm going to be very upset with you. I'm sure that, I mean, it sounds like that should work. So I'm going to do it just very quickly, and I'll keep an eye on it, so that if anything goes horribly wrong, I can grab it. Right, so I've got my flatbreads with a little bit of water in a bowl in the middle. So we're hoping that if I put this into the microwave in the cupboard for 30 seconds, that the steam should help the flatbreads kind of kind of shape a bit more. I'm going to keep my eye on it, see how it looks. It's a tense moment. I don't think it's doing anything. Let's see. Yeah, no, I think that may have worked. It's definitely at least just like the kebab shop. It's definitely warmed them up again, so that's good. But it's funny because this one here had a bit of an air bubble in it here, and that bit's gone a bit crispy. So I think I'm going to use one of these ones. I think this one, because obviously it's all about getting a good photo. So I'm going to just start filling it. I don't know if there's an order to this. I'm sure there probably is. What do we reckon? Slightly worried. I know, could you imagine? All of that work, and then I put them in the microwave for 10 seconds and then they're ruined. I'm going to put a bit of the cabbage in first. Whoop. And then we don't want too much of anything because it's probably going to overflow quite quickly. And then I think I'm going to put the salad at the bottom so you can see the nice mushroomy stuff at the top. Lots of sauce, yes. Always lots of sauce, that's very important. So now is the trick of trying to make a kebab look presentable. And colourful and healthy. Bits of the onion. And 2 chunks of tomato. And then some of the tasty mushrooms. Oh, this looks good. Oh, that's the problem with these. Everything falls out the side. Okay, another wee bit. And that's quite good actually, because at first when I just finished the mushrooms, I thought, that's not good. There's literally no mushrooms left at all. But you actually really don't need a lot in it. So that's maybe a quarter of the mushrooms. So if you make a load of them, they will shrink, but you don't need too many. So, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do this cleverly so I can get a photo in a minute. And I'm going to grab my towel. Oh, thank you very much for your follow, Bird Bass. Bird Bass, is that how you say that? Nice to have you here. If you've just joined us, we're making veggie kebab. Well, we've made veggie kebabs. So we've got our salad, we've got a cabbage salad, we've got some cucumber, carrot, what's that called? Onion, tomato, and Bird Bass, like the instrument. Ah, that makes sense. Thank you for that. We've got some marinated mushrooms instead of like your standard kebab meat. And then I'm going to put on some of the sauces. I just want something to prop it up. A wee onion? No, that's not going to work. A wee bowl or something. Thank you very much, Bird Bass. I'm quite pleased with it myself, I'm not going to lie. Do you always cook veggie? Not always. So I'm not actually vegetarian. I am gluten-free, so I always cook gluten-free. I'm trying to eat as much vegetarian as possible. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Especially as well because I find that because I am gluten-free, like if I was to eat out at a restaurant, sometimes I struggle to get vegetarian gluten-free options. So then I'll have a steak or a fish or something. But I do try and eat as much veggie stuff as I can, and I quite enjoy trying to find alternatives for stuff that I really enjoy that's like meat-based. And this is one of them. I do love a kebab. So far this has worked out quite well, and the mushrooms are really, really tasty. I tried them a minute ago, so I'm pleased with that. And I managed to get the gluten-free flatbreads to work. So far it's a good Sunday. Are you veggie, or have you got any dietary requirements yourself? Right, so what I'm going to do now is I've got our sauces, so I've been vegan for 3 years now. And do you find it quite easy to cook vegan? Is there anything like that you miss or struggle with? I also think it's quite interesting to have, it's a bit of a challenge to try and cook vegan. A lot of rice, yeah, nice. I do like a lot of rice. A good risotto, you can't beat a good risotto. But yeah, I do find it's quite interesting to kind of experiment a wee bit and to see what you can come up with just using like veg and plant-based products. Oh, you make sushi almost every day. Well, I'm just waiting for an invite then, because I love sushi. I actually made one of every time I try to say it, I cannot remember what the name is, but it's like the sushi sandwich thing. What's it called? Onigiratsu? Is that what it's called? So tasty. So good. I made homemade grilled veggies. Oh! Wow! That's impressive. Oh, that does sound good. And that's it, you're going to get a lot of taste in it if you're making the stock from scratch. I think is it Onigiratsu? I think that's what it's called. I had it up on my menu card when I was doing it, and the whole time I was like, I can't even say it. So it's a sushi sandwich. But it worked out really well as well. It was really tasty. I'm just going to put a little bit of this kind of garlic mayo on top. And then I've also made a quick sriracha mayo. Just using some vegan yogurt and mayo and some garlic, some herbs. And then I just added some sriracha to this one. So there we go. I think that looks pretty good now. Can't see it all that well now because of all the sauce. But I would say that's a success. So if you do like a kebab and you would like to try a vegan version, I am going to write up the recipe. I've not written up the recipe yet because it was a bit of kind of trial and error today and I kind of made it up as I went along. So I'm going to write up the recipe probably today and stick it on the Discord. If you want to try it, it'll be on there later on today. Onigiratsu, yes. I'm glad you wrote it out because I was like, I feel like there's a bit missing. But yeah, onigiratsu. And I find that with onigiratsu, it's quicker because you only have to roll up like one chunk and then you've got loads of sushi that you don't have to roll all the individual bits, but that might just be me being lazy. So yes, so I think it's probably about time that I went and enjoyed this because I'm so hungry now after making all of this. But I do hope you enjoyed it. I hope that it maybe give you a bit of inspiration on how to make your own veggie kebabs. And I'm very impressed with how well my flatbreads turned out. I don't know if it was obvious, but I'm so pleased because quite often with the gluten-free flatbreads, it can be a bit of a mess. And especially because you want them to bend, because obviously you want like a little pocket. And most of the time, if you try and do anything with gluten-free bread or baked goods, it'll just crack and crumble. So they worked well, so I'm pleased with that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this over to the side so that I can then go away and eat it. Although actually I'm going to take a couple of pictures first. Thank you very much. Very, very pleased with it. A couple of foodie photos And then if anyone has any suggestions for a raid, we can raid somebody really quickly because there's a few of us here. And then we can see if somebody's maybe making something tasty as well for lunch. And go over and check them out. I don't know where to put this now. Pop it over there just now. Get rid of that. So yes, I hope you enjoyed that recipe that was a bit thrown together, but I'm hoping that if you've got a bit of a hangover, something like this will sort you out. I think it's going to sort me out. So I'm going to have a quick look to see. Oh, and before I go, Tron, I think Tron's away, but Tron, thank you very much for the gifted subs. Far too much, but I do appreciate it. I can just hear an echo there, that was confusing. And thank you very much for the follows, Birdvass. It was lovely to talk to you. It's just a shame you came quite close to the end, but I'll be doing another stream at the latest on Wednesday. So definitely come by for that. Possibly one before that, but I'm not sure yet. Oh, thank you very much for your follow, Thames. Nice to have you here. Hope you enjoyed. And I'm gonna go quickly and see, right, who's on? Who is about? Happy Chef is on. Is there anyone else? Because I've raided him a couple of times now. Although, to be fair, Happy Chef is always a good way to get into a Sunday. I think he might be the only one on this. Yep, let's head over to Happy Chef. And if you enjoy cooking and good vibes, good food, I think that's his motto. You will enjoy Happy Chef. So thank you all again for watching. I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I feel like I've had a nice chilled start to my Sunday. I'm gonna go now and enjoy my kebabs. I hope to see you all again at the very latest on Wednesday, but hopefully before then. We all good? Right, well, have a happy Sunday, everyone, and I shall see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.
Koud koppen confetti. Host, hope you had a good stream, darling. Welcome in, Raiders. Happy Sunday fun day to you too. Let's go, baby. Welcome in, everyone. What you been making today, Copper Confetti? Let's go, baby. Ooh, veggie kebab. Nice. Destructed, baby. chicken machine is gonna work soon again. Yeah, we're making some leftover pasta. First, I want to make the boar ribs, but the girls didn't want to eat that. So I said homemade pasta, and we got some garden tomatoes, a bunch of garden tomatoes. So we tossed them all in a pot, making some nice, easy, simple pasta sauce with some pasta and a simple bavarois as dessert with some red fruit and stuff. I made it before, but the family was craving a little bit for it, you know. So I gotta cook for the family as well, you know. I loved to make a curry as well, but I didn't want to have a curry, so because I maybe wanted to do a little curry because all the Team O&M members were making curry, but yeah, I gotta cook for my family as well, you know. I gotta cook for the mouth. It's always a shame to throw it away if people don't eat it at home. So let's go, baby.